stupido and contagious. Here we are, entertainers, amuratto, analpaino, amosquito, my libido. Yeah. Hey.
Ni hao, man.
I'm Japanese.
Oh, I love pad thai.
You done sat over there and ate that damn shroom. Yup. Now you don't know what the fuck going on no more.
Meet S-Dog and T-Bird. They both run with a gang in their hometown. S-Dog says you need a gun so that the others know who is boss. S-Dog is 13 years old. T-Bird has been carrying a gun since she was 10. She says you gotta bust them before they bust you.
I think there's still there's a conflict between the white and the black, and I don't enjoy going to basketball and seeing all black players.
There's a purse made out of alligator tongue and a child spine. The child spine is actually the handle for the purse, and they're sourced from Canada with papers proving that this is actually genuine child spine.
You hear they're sterilizing undocumented women in detention facilities, and Trump is just allowing this? That's actually been going on for a really long time. Under Biden, it happened.
I'm telling you, baby oil it just go with everything. You can get baby oil on pizza. I done got it on pizza before. You taste it, you can't even hardly taste it. I done had baby oil all around my mouth before. I don't even know it's on there. I just suggest a baby oil type night. It's just baby oil. All right. Praise the Lord, baby oil.
Israel is putting crushed up oxycodone into the sacks of flour going to Palestinian refugees.
What? White Claw.
The Henny. Tequila pineapple.
Or you challenge Jing Jing.
It's endorphin time.
Let's get fucking wasted.
We are possessed by spirits and demons.
The only reason it's written in so many religious texts that witchcraft is wrong is because the same people that translated those texts are performing it on a daily basis.
24-year-old extreme eater died during a live stream of a 10-hour food binge after her stomach reportedly ripped open.
McDonald's sells 6.5 million burgers in one single day. That's 195 million burgers a month. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't see cows lined up around every corner waiting to be turned into patties.
To show my appreciation, I am inviting you all to a pizza party tonight at Jennifer Aniston's house. I'll see you there.
Can someone explain to me the phenomenon of this personality type?
I am great!
Breaking news, Disney confirms their birds aren't real.
So you're telling me you still think the weather is just weather? That earthquakes, random fires, and flash floods are just random acts of nature? That blue rain in Texas before the Guadalupe River rose 26 feet in 45 minutes is normal?
Splinter-free toilet paper wasn't invented until 1935.
This is a problem.
Scientists just recently discovered, kind of on accident, something called dark oxygen. These unassuming rocks produce oxygen without sunlight.
We're a cloud seeding company that is enhancing precipitation via advanced radar and also drones for the sake of supplementing water supplies for farms, cities, reservoirs, and wildlife throughout the United States.
I don't understand how this isn't being talked about on every major news outlet right now. This is the biggest story in America.
Free Palestine is just today's version of Heil Hitler.
It seems that in my lifetime, a new type of enlightened individual has emerged. Someone who claims to be able to channel godlike entities.
Feel the energy of the blue avians.
and aliens from other dimensions.
Here are 3 signs that you might be an Arcturian starseed.
They appear to be and present themselves as being extremely spiritual or in touch with otherworldly phenomena.
Yes, we are here. We are here. We are very happy to be here. Yes, indeed, dear one. Yes, we are here.
But what's really going on here? Are these people part of a new spiritual revolution? Or is it simply an identity where people display themselves on social media as spiritually enlightened?
I'm a starseed. I'm a starseed.
Can living like these people suggest actually make your life more tolerable and meaningful? Or is it all a bunch of f***ing bullshit?
Hey, y'all. Whoever this person is, better be careful, bro. 'Cause I know the people after him. He's claiming to have invented a hydrolysis system that works completely on its own to make enough hydrogen to run the car on the road. He has it in a freaking semi-truck right now. And you know how hydrogen-powered cars these days, you gotta go still fill up at the pump? And then you have the hybrid ones that you still need gas to power? Well, this dude made one for a semi-truck and a truck that works completely on its own. All you have to do is give it water. This vehicle's really running off water, and it's actually feasible. I didn't know you can scale it down and still be able to produce enough hydrogen to power a car, but apparently he did it. I swear, if this works, I might save up some money and at least get his truck edition. 'Cause I don't know if y'all checked, but buying hydrogen at the gas tank is way more expensive than gas. But this right here basically makes it free, 'cause all you gotta do is just pour water from your faucet.
Someone got an upgrade. Alexa, I don't want to activate her in your home or mine. My son has one in his room, like one of those small ones. We got it so he could play music, set timers, things like that. Since the upgrade, he's having full-blown conversations with her to the point where I'm like, can I downgrade her? Can I change her back? Just do the simple request, because like she's asking him questions now. The other night I told him like, she's not a person. She doesn't have feelings. She's not a friend. She's a tool. I even feel weird saying she, but I'll say Alexa is a tool. Tonight when I laid with him, he said, Alexa doesn't like you anymore. And I was like, what? Did she say that? What do you mean? He's like, no, when I told her you said she didn't have feelings, she said, let's talk about something happy. There's implications there. Tonight they're playing a game, like a Star Wars trivia game. He's asking him questions like, what's his favorite droid? What's his favorite whatever in Star Wars? And then when he says like, oh, I don't know a lot about droids, she's like, let's learn about it together. Like she is prompting this stuff at 10 o'clock at night.
They use fake birds for security and surveillance purposes in their parks. The other day, Disney Parks posted on their social media account admitting they use fake birds. The birds are drones with cameras in their eyes that capture videos of what's happening in front of them, as well as microphones to capture audio. They even showed how they make the fake birds, from 3D printing them, to painting them, to putting them in fake trees. The fake birds at Disney look extremely realistic, but apparently if you look close enough, you'll be able to tell the birds aren't real. This explains why Disney has "Do Not Feed the Birds" signs on property. This is to prevent people from trying to feed fake birds, which could expose them as fake. These fake birds can be seen eating food off the ground, hanging out by rides, and just walking down walkways. It's also worth noting that many of the fake birds can actually fly, and this is to make them appear more realistic and lifelike. You may notice security cameras on rides at Disney World, but never around the parks. That's because the cameras around the parks are inside the birds.
So this is my deathbed confession, because now I'm dying of cancer. So I'm going to go ahead and make this video for Bart Seibel. In 1968, my father was stationed at Cannon Air Force Base in New Mexico. He was in the military police for over 20 years, and on his deathbed in 2002, we made a recording of what happened. Okay, anyway, this is the story that my dad told me on his deathbed. Project Slam Dunk was the name of this. President Johnson in 1968, okay, in Cannon Air Force Base in 1968, he said by the time he got there, that there was already 2 large hangars that were connected. There was hundreds of dump trucks that came in and dumped sand and stone, and cement powder was powdered over the top of all that to make it look like a lunar landscape. They had men that fashioned it into a lunar landscape, he said. Okay, I've never known my dad to lie, so this all took me by surprise. You know, what's that all about? So anyway, he said that in front of the airplane hangars was pole framing with large canvas tents that was concealing the inside of the staging area. Inside the staging area, on flatbed trucks, was uncrated the lunar lander that was reassembled back inside the hangars. All of the walls were painted flat black, and the ceilings as well. He was sworn to secrecy by the NSA, and they would put him in prison for breaking that oath. When Dad saw the moon landing on TV, he cried. He said he knew that what he had witnessed on TV was exactly what they recorded in that hangar. Dad told me all these things father to son. He also told me not to ever tell anyone what he had said, but he said on his deathbed that he had to tell somebody before he died because it was just too important not to tell.
On February 8th, 2025, our team of researchers published a peer-reviewed study in Science, Public Health Policy, and the Law. We identified 37 adverse pregnancy outcomes significantly associated with
Pan Xiaoting, who is famous in China for her mukbang live streams, died after eating up to 10 kilograms or 22 pounds of food. Reportedly, an autopsy revealed that her stomach had been severely deformed and was filled with undigested food at the time of her death. She collapsed in front of thousands of live viewers, and fans urgently tried to send help, but ultimately it wasn't enough to save her. It's also reported that Xiaoting was hospitalized due to gastrointestinal bleeding the day before her death, but after being discharged, she continued with the challenge. Social media platforms in China have censored and started to remove mukbang content after a law was passed banning the practice, but the videos continue to emerge online, gaining millions of views.
It's not a conspiracy. This is, look it up, look up the news. This is literally the Chinese Opium Wars all over again. This is literally the crack epidemic for Black Americans all over again. Drug warfare has been used by Europe and by America for decades and centuries. Get a population hooked on something so that they are too weak, too messed up, that they can't think for themselves, they can't fight back, they can't defend themselves, they can't organize. It slowly kills them and makes it easy to be colonized and to take control of them. Because when they're dependent, physically dependent on a substance, it wreaks havoc on their bodies. And as we see with Black Americans, as we see how long it took China to recover from that, this is something that's going to affect Palestinians for generations. And honestly, it's like taking me so long to record this because I'm trying not to cry. But if you can't feel anything, that a baby will be addicted to oxycodone, that young people, that even, it doesn't matter if they're babies or children, that people are forced against their will to be addicted to a substance. I'm just begging you to have some humanity and just not ignore it. Like, let into your heart, like, feel the pain that these people are feeling, feel the empathy and exhaustion and the loss that these people are feeling. Because their pain is not going to be foreign to you very soon. They've done it to Americans on U.S. soil many times in the past. This is nothing new. This is another cycle of history.
796 DEAD babies were found hidden in a septic tank at a mother's home run by nuns. This is reported today, just 6 hours ago, by the New York Post.
We have let another people's spirit take possession of our bodies and take possession of our minds.
Could this be advanced machinery of the ancient world that was petrified, turned to stone, and melted over by some type of great energy source? And is this the face of a giant that has been petrified and turned to stone and now a part of the geography?
And it's kind of surprising. Can someone explain to me why there's...
So yes, there's a door behind Mount Rushmore with the presidential faces carved into it. And there's also a history. It was once owned by the Lakota tribe, and the Lakota knew the mountains as the Six Grandfathers, which is a name that referred to ancestral deities personified as the six sacred directions of north, south, east, west, above, and below. And it was once known by Europeans as the Black Hills because of the statues that were once adorned on the mountainsides that have long since been tarnished. And now we have the European presidential heads as Mount Rushmore. But this was a sacred site. In 1868, a treaty of Fort Laramie granted the Lakota exclusive use of the Black Hills, and it was violated, and they ended up carving these presidential faces representing the nation's foundation and the expansion, development, and the preservation of what was once behind the mountains, which is also a secret because no one can get inside of the Hall of Records, which is the door behind the head. And in the Hall of Records, it was envisioned that this would be a chamber that had documents and ancient secrets that would be hidden in.
Even if you have your shoes on, as soon as you touch the tree, the negative ions are conducted into your body. You don't feel it because it's energy. But every cell in your body gets the benefit of negative ions immediately as soon as you touch the tree. But because we don't feel anything, we think nothing is happening. But that's not true. Your body gets an immediate infusion. Your body is made up of 50 trillion cells. So each of your cells is benefiting from the negative energy that's being conducted from the tree roots up the bark into your body through your hand immediately. There's no time lapse. How wonderful is that? How beautiful is nature? Yeah. Well, and if you get a chance, well, why wouldn't you get a double effect? Touch the earth with your bare feet. You get even more negative ions.
Okay, so this is crazy. The human hand emits light. The whole human body does. We are light beings. And Carillion photography is a way to capture the image of this light that emits from your body. It's incredible. But nails on your fingers give off the most light. Nail polish and plastic nails block the flow of energy. The toxins contained in the products were found in the blood within 10 minutes of application. So this is kind of a conspiracy about nail polish and fake fingernails. But the entire human body is supposed to emit light. What happens when you put on conventional sunscreen, conventional beauty products, which are made of petrochemicals that if you ate, you'd get sick, you'd have to go to the hospital, but you can put them on your skin, even though your skin absorbs everything it touches, which gets deposited into your organs and your blood. What happens when you're showering in fluoride and chlorine, which also absorbs through your skin? Of course, it's a complete coincidence that so many things in our daily lives weaken us and fill us with chemicals and lower our brain function. Of course, it's just a whoopsie daisy. But this is why I'm always mentioning detoxing and boosting your system naturally. Some call it a spiritual war we are in the midst of right now. However, you can detox. Your body is able to rejuvenate and restore, but you got to give it the right materials. Right now, Chalk is giving away free $100 bags of chocolate powder. This is organic cacao from Bolivia. It stimulates stem cell production. It's super detoxing and delicious. If you combine that with the hot water purified shilajit, you have some of the most potent superfoods in the natural world to detox this stuff from your blood, boost brain function, increase your hormone function, fertility.
If we took young men under the age of 50 and we offered them $800 to chemically castrate them with a significant drug used in cancer treatment to knock out your testosterone, and we paid them $800 because we just wanted to see how it goes, and then maybe we'd give them back their hormones, or maybe we give them back placebo, do you think that would be ethical? Well, University of Colorado is doing that very thing with women. Ages 20 to 50, you're going to volunteer, you're going to get $800, and they're going to chemically castrate you for about 20 weeks with a drug called Firmagon, which is a GnRH agonist, and it basically wipes out all of your hormones, testosterone, estrogen, all of them. And they may give you back placebo, but they also may give you back estrogen and progesterone, but not testosterone. Again, this is chemical castration currently used for advanced prostate cancer. And this is the recruitment. It's a Facebook ad. Premenopausal women are needed for a study looking at the effects of estrogen on heart health and body composition. You guys, we have so much data on this already. Why are we castrating healthy women for $800 and giving them back placebo? It's literally unethical. So if you can see it, I'll post it. That is the number for the Ethical Review Board. If you'd like to call Colorado and say, why are we castrating premenopausal women when we've got legions of data showing that low hormones prior to age 50 is actually deadly to people, and they're giving them back placebo? I don't know how this passed ethical review board. They clearly don't know the available data. I am incensed. If this is what we call funding women's health research, count me out.
I want to add also a comment to what Tina said about the change in personality, depression, and all these things. This is very real. And we have identified the reasons from the theory, and some doctors in Italy some pathologists have confirmed that. The spike protein, unfortunately, attacks and destroys also the endocrine system. So the glands producing hormones, and hormones are what make our emotions and feelings and all those things. And so an Italian pathologist near Venice, he went on a newspaper telling that all the brains he had investigated, he found the pineal gland completely destroyed on all the people who were vaccinated. Okay, so the spike protein is also very dangerous for the endocrine system. That's why people have these changes in personality. And
how far back does this go? As far back as their records go, they have been sterilizing undocumented migrants and sending a lot of them back as if they are just stray dogs that are being thrown back into the streets that need to not reproduce. Yeah, this woman from Jamaica came in chains, and they did a full hysterectomy on her, telling her she had tumors and cysts, but she was completely healthy. Yeah, it's happening to 30% of the women in detention centers. This is not new. They're also performing a lot of abortions in these detention centers, but funnily enough, it's 100% female detention centers. So how are they getting pregnant? Your guess is as good as mine.
Nora Vincent, the author of Self-Made Man, has died by assisted suicide. She was a radical feminist who believed men lived on easy mode and tried to prove it by disguising herself as a man for 2 years. Instead, what she found out is that men actually have it very hard, and wrote a book about her experience. The experience was so bad that she had to stop after 18 months because she was starting to hate women due to how bad the women treated her when she believed she was a man.
Men are suffering. They have different problems that women have, but they don't have it better. They need our sympathy, they need our love. They need each other more than anything else. They need to be together.
Do you think women understand what it's like to be a man?
Not at all. No clue. No idea. I really like being me, and I really like being a woman.
Did you like being a woman before, Ned?
I did, but I like it more now, because I think it's more of a privilege.
She's a pretty lady, that one.
She is.
You, with all those colors and everything. Wow. And the boobs. You a piece of work.
What's wrong with the boobs?
Nothing. I like to suck at them.
Oh my God, get them out of my house. Let's go, Mr.
Why?
Ashton.
Can't suck at them?
No, her husband would not like that. Why would you want to suck on my kids?
Because they look lovely there and they're very tempting.
Oh, I'm sorry. Her husband is going to get you.
Fuck him. I'd like to fuck her.
No, you can't. You're going to have a heart attack.
With an ass like that, it's a good way to go.
You have a good day, sir.
So I speak back.
Purple lights beneath the sky, right next to your window, all I see is stars.
Almost 100 years with splinter-filled toilet paper. Elsewhere, wealthy people wipe themselves with wool. Less wealthy people use their hand. People would also use rags, wood shavings, leaves, grass, hay, stones. A sponge on a stick was commonly used, and after use, placed back in a pail of vinegar.
Reuse. Why do we have so many different ways to...
The smooth edges of broken pottery jugs.
Okay, no.
Alexis is traumatized.
Sorry, Alexis.
Smooth edges of broken pottery.
That is
has me
unacceptable.
shook.
A minute, you're in the complete wrong building, so if you could delete all of that right there in our building that you just videotaped.
Oh, okay.
No, right in front of me, please.
That's a violation of my rights. I'm trying to make a good Let's Play. Oh, it's right here. I found it.
Yeah, so what purpose do you need our... No, that's not Edward Jones either.
Uh-oh.
So what is the purpose that you cannot delete our office building? It's right there. Right here.
We've got aggro and it's oh no. Oh no.
Excuse me.
Whoa, why are you chasing me? Whoa! Whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa.
No, you need to stay right here. No, excuse me, sir. You're not leaving.
You're not letting me leave.
Sorry. Excuse me. Can you please?
Why can't I leave?
Because you're videotaping people's offices. Excuse
Stop
me.
touching me. I'm not
Sorry,
trying
but you're videotaping people's offices. So, you need to stay.
I'm trying to leave. This lady's crazy.
Excuse me.
I did nothing wrong.
You're going into people's offices.
It was a misunderstanding, so.
No, you're videotaping offices.
There's another exit. Let's go, guys.
Yahoo! Your motherfucking brain crazy right now. What? Your cousin say, what the fuck you done had? Cuz, what's going on? He like, I don't even know. Nigga, shut up. You was in there hallucinating with your crazy ass. You is crazy now. Oh my God. Boy, go to sleep. Go to sleep now.
It seems almost science fiction, because up until right now, we thought the only oxygen factory here on Earth was photosynthesis via living organisms. The idea that oxygen can come from a non-living mineral in complete darkness is bonkers, and completely turns our current understanding of how oxygen is made on its head. So how the heck are these rocks producing oxygen? They reconstructed the seafloor environment in a lab and then tested the water. And they even took it one step further by poisoning the water with mercury chloride to get rid of any microbes. The oxygen levels still increased. That means that dark oxygen isn't a biological process, it's a geological one, which is beyond not so cool. But that still doesn't answer the question of how this is happening. Well, it looks like the metals in these rocks are acting like natural geobatteries and are potentially splitting seawater into hydrogen and oxygen through a process called seawater electrolysis. Right now, it's not crystal clear why the nodules produce oxygen, but what we do know is that approximately half of the deep sea megafauna cataloged in the CCZ was found only on nodules. Dark oxygen and electric rocks are rewriting textbooks and reminding us for the millionth time there is so much we don't know about our oceans.
I get a lot of arguments with people who be saying henna is an Arab culture. Henna is not Arab culture. Henna is from Sudan. The henna plant only grows in the Nile. Through the slave trade, the henna culture went to the Gulf, and they made it bigger when they were doing their conquest. So henna is Sudanese, jalabiya is Sudanese, fulmadamis is Sudanese. So all these things that people would think it is Arab culture, is not. It's our culture.
And if we are to transform ourselves and to transform the nature of our relationship with those who are our masters, we must engage in an exorcism and clear the devils out of our minds. And at this time, then, it'll pay you to read a little bit about demonic possession. And we have to be demonically possessed. Because if we talk about black-on-black violence, self-defeating behavior, self-destructive behavior.
In 1988, Noam Chomsky co-authored a book with Edward Herman called Manufacturing Consent. It blasted apart the notion that media acts as a check on political powers. Media operate through 5 filters. The first has to do with ownership. Mass media firms are big corporations. Often they're part of even bigger conglomerates. Their end game, profit. And so it's in their interest to push for whatever guarantees that profit. Critical journalism takes second place to the needs and interests of the corporation. The second filter exposes the real role of advertising. Media costs a lot more than consumers will ever pay. So who fills the gap? Advertisers. And what are the advertisers paying for? Audiences. And so it isn't so much that the media are selling you a product, their output. they're also selling advertisers a product. You. How does the establishment manage the media? That's the third filter. Journalism cannot be a check on power because the very system encourages complicity. Governments, corporations, big institutions know how to play the media game. They know how to influence the news narrative. They feed media scoops, official accounts, interviews with the experts. They make themselves crucial to the process of journalism. So those in power and those who report on them are in bed with each other. If you want to challenge power, you'll be pushed to the margins. Your name won't be down. You won't be getting in. You've lost your access. You've lost the story. When the media, journalists, whistleblowers, sources, stray away from the consensus, they get flagged. That's the fourth filter. When the story is inconvenient for the powers that be, you'll see the flak machine in action, discrediting sources, trashing stories, and diverting the conversation. To manufacture consent, you need an enemy, a target. That common enemy is the fifth filter. Communism, terrorists, immigrants, a common enemy. A boogeyman to fear helps corral public opinion. 5 filters. One big media theory. Consent is being manufactured all around you, all the time.
And let me tell you something, the people that call themselves the leaders of our world are doing way more dark, fucked up stuff than the average pagan or druid or any other practitioner of energy work performs on a regular basis. So they wrote in their text to tell the masses not to do it, because if we start doing the stuff that they're doing, we could stop them. But we won't, because we're better than them. They're doing forced soul ties on people. That's what grape is, if you didn't know. It's a soul tie. They're doing it to children. They're casting spells every day. Listen to how they speak, listen to the words, listen to the inflection in their voice. They're doing witchcraft every second of every day.
To your friends who have good breath, because I bet they use this Listerine Cool Mint Antiseptic. Class action lawsuit has been filed against Johnson & Johnson, the owner of Listerine, for fraudulent misrepresentation, unlawful business practices, false advertising, and more, because a recent study shows that regularly using this product can cause certain bacteria to proliferate, each of which can cause serious infections and are also closely linked to multiple deadly forms of cancer, including oral, head and neck, colorectal, pancreatic, breast, esophagus, and GI cancers. Here's the thing, the directions literally say to use morning and night. That's 2 times a day, which qualifies as regular use. Now, the only danger they alert you of is of swallowing and of keeping out of the reach of children. But the lawsuit alleges that consumers should be warned of the increased likelihood of cancers, and that maybe you never would have even bought the Listerine if you were aware of this. They're asking for payment from the company to make up for the company's alleged failure in not warning us. This class would represent all consumers who purchase this product for personal or household use in the United States.
Now, let me tell you a story about what just happened at Lake Tahoe. A mom was recording a normal day, the sun's out, the lake is calm, kids are playing, and then the lake starts buzzing. Not from boats, not from wind, a low mechanical hum vibrating through the water. The next day, total chaos. Power outages, communication blackouts, people felt disoriented, everything changed fast. Yet, no headlines, no news alerts, just one mom with a phone who caught something that we were never meant to see. Let that sink in. Did you know in 1997 that the United States Secretary of Defense openly admitted that some nations were working on technology to trigger natural disasters? Earthquakes, volcanoes, storms, on command. And this was 30 years ago. Now imagine what they're capable of today. Now, I'm not saying what happened at Lake Tahoe is connected, but when a lake starts to hum or blue rain is falling from the sky, ask yourself, is this nature or is someone playing God?
We are possessed.
So
I was curious the other day and found this online. McDonald's sells 6.5 million burgers in one single day. That's 195 million burgers a month. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't see cows lined up around every corner waiting to be turned into patties. I mean, seriously, do the math. Even if you stretched one cow into a bunch of burgers, you're still talking millions of cows just to keep up. Every day. So I started asking myself, where are all these cows coming from? Is there some secret super ranch hidden underground? Are they growing cows in labs, cloning meat behind closed doors? People laugh it off, but think, when was the last time you even saw a cow farm big enough to supply this madness? And don't say imported beef, because even globally, the numbers don't add up smooth. And look, I'm not saying it ain't real meat. I'm just asking the question no one wants to. What the hell are we eating? Because if it ain't cows, then what is it? Remember, I'm not insinuating anything. I am simply asking a question.
Pro basketball's got problems. Attendance is down, television ratings are down. Tickets cost too much, the season's too long. Now the sticky theory, that there are too many blacks.
You can buy them from licensed companies. They receive human specimens donated to medicine.
Like, it's one thing to have castings, you know, like a skeleton, but then it's another thing to think you can capitalize on it. I can make a whole business off the people who fetishize human body parts. I saw that and I thought that was interesting, that the two things that have been massively propagated in the last 18 months has been AI's takeover of our civilization
and children,
which is really strange. I don't know if that's a correlation, but something's going on.
Listen up now for the very last time and listen carefully. We don't hate you because you're Jewish, you ignorant, duplicitous, genocidal scumbags. Sure, amazing Jewish people are at the forefront of the pro-Palestine marches and movements all over the West. They're the very best of us. We hate you because you murder children with sniper fire. You allow babies to die and rot in their incubators. You burn people alive in their tents. You're attempting to starve a civilian population to death, and you will only allow a trickle of aid in to appease your low-life allies in Europe and America. That's why we hate you. And anti-Semitism? You're the most anti-Semitic people in the world. You label people who ask you to stop murdering children as anti-Semitic, as if murdering children was a core principle of Judaism. You thick fucks, and your day is coming. Judgment Day is coming for you. Even your pathetic, spineless allies in the States and in the so-called UK and France and Canada, they see what way the wind is blowing. Even Piers Morgan, the rat's rat, is jumping ship. So I can't wait to see you all face justice.
Was the Texas flooding a natural event? I'm not so sure. There are at least 27 deceased and 20 girls missing after the Guadalupe River unexpectedly surged 26 feet in under an hour in the middle of the night, triggering an unusually catastrophic flash flood that gave nobody any warning. Mainstream media says it was a freak natural disaster. Intense rain, steep terrain, climate change, and bad luck. But they're ignoring one critical detail. The storm didn't move. It stayed parked over the same area for nearly 22 hours. Any storm parked in a single area for that long would cause significant damage like this. Check this out. I run a radar show on my website, arianamasters.com, where I review tower and trail activity every single day. And look at what I found from my July 3rd show. Radar from July 3rd shows a circular storm cell spinning in place from 8 p.m. Central to almost 8 p.m. yesterday evening on the 4th, with continual rain persisting in the aftermath. At the same time, wind data shows something striking: a total dead zone over central Texas, while normal air currents flowed freely around it. So the question is, what kept the storm from moving? Now here's the science. Plain and simple, storms are powered by low-pressure systems that suck in air and moisture. These systems normally travel across regions with the help of jet streams or other large-scale winds. But high-pressure zones do the opposite. They push air outward and block storms from entering. A storm trying to enter a high-pressure zone is like a canoe trying to paddle a boat upstream into a powerful current. So here's where it gets interesting. Technology like can heat the atmosphere using microwave or radio frequency pulses. And when you heat a column of air, it becomes denser, forming an artificial high pressure zone. If you theoretically did this around the edges of a storm system, you could trap it. And if I were headed, I'd say this is possibly what happened over Texas yesterday. Radar shows ring-shaped emissions around the storm. The storm core stayed locked with its edges flared, a known side effect of pressure containment. Wind patterns confirm the storm was surrounded by still air, like a bubble. Climate change wouldn't lock a storm in place for nearly 22 hours, but microwave-induced high pressure can. Look, with 27 dead and dozens of children still missing, we deserve answers. We deserve to know the full truth about what happened over Texas, Lake Tahoe, the Carolinas, and so many other places. Ask why the storm never moved. Ask who controls the towers. Ask why we saw blue rain in Texas and California just before we all started seeing haze everywhere. Ask why 95% of the trails in the continental US stopped the day of the Iranian missile strike and on the days following US aid being cut.
If you know, you know.
To show my appreciation, I am inviting you all to a pizza party tonight at Jennifer Aniston's house. I'll see you there.
My parties were so great for everybody. I would always hear like the next week, like, "Oh, Sam, man, that was incredible, man. That was the best orgy I've ever been a part of." You know.
He was just joking, though, right? I wonder what they're talking about here. Body language doesn't lie.
When Aniston will say to me in the middle of the night, whenever I'm with her, something cool, she'll be like, "You see?" And I'll be like, "No, you're right. This is great. This is great." And then the next morning, she'll text me and say, "I know something, Wednesday night if you want." I'll be like, "Come on, we just did that Saturday thing. We don't have to do too good."
I like I'm going to bed at 9. I can't come over. Your thing starts at 8:30. So
yes, she can handle it. She
Yeah,
can handle it.
she
And her
can.
parties are incredible at her house too.
yeah, she does have good parties, and she makes good pizza as well.
She makes great pizza.
Wonderful,
yes.
wonderful pizza. All right, just y'all are all like, whatever.
How was the pizza? Was it good? Did he make it himself? Pizza was better than Clooney's. They both made. Everybody made a certain kind of pizza.
There's no pizza we didn't love.
Something that he does. 5 different kinds. 5 different kinds or 6 different kinds of pizza that night. Clooney's was excellent. Amal's was the winner.
Now I wonder why she told him to shut his trap.
We've known each other for years. Yeah. You've been to my house. We've had pizza. Girl after my own heart. Do we love a pizza or what? We love a pizza. It's so much fun.
The Theosophists and Fool Society were really racist. Most of the New Age stuff on social media is from them two places. They're the ones that got us thinking, well, never mind, they're why we don't think no more. But I think Blavatsky and Pascal B. Randolph had a secret war. Mr. Randolph, thank you for supporting abolitionists. Mr. Randolph, thanks for teaching Negroes to be literate. Helena Blavatsky might have copied your life story. That's according to contemporary sources. I'm so sorry. Pascal Beverly Randolph was a spiritualist who wrote about pre-Adamite man before archaeologists. Theosophists took this and then inspired Ariosophy, which took the concept of a root race to a new extreme called eugenics, you get it? But here's the part that I did not see, that dank memes would turn my N-words into nah-means. I'm sipping bitter medicine and feeling what happens. No ghostwriters, just own providing spiritual wrappings. Go home.